Cardoso was the man to have led Sundowns, of course, to the latter stages of the tournament last year, up against a legend, I think it's safe to say, in Rolando Mokoena, leading the side from Algeria. And well, he's had a great start domestically, looking to switch that start over to the Champions League here. And there is the man in question. This will be a big day for him, and he would have known as soon as the group stages were announced that he has won for the ages here, and one he could very well be telling his grandkids about years down the line. So, Algiers again getting forward nice and early here, looking for that perfect start as mentioned earlier. Sundowns not doing enough defensively here. Pace of the game in these early exchanges is that lively as well. Matthews was looking to push forward out to that far side, and the decision going the way of Algiers as they look to get off to that perfect start and really put Sundowns under pressure. How's Rainers looking to close down right from the front, pull over the top here. Now is that an off the ball incident, and again another decision going the way of Algiers. It's Mudau under pressure, and well, he looked as though he had allowed his opponent to go close side of him then, and needed to commit that foul then to keep tabs on Bangura. Timed that run so well, and in fact Mudau will feel he was outdone by here. Had eyes on the ball and had eyes only for the ball then, and the contact in fact came from the Alger attacker, who I think would be the referee, but keeps that perfect start for them alive here as they throw the big men forward and well, look to show us what they can do from a dead ball situation. Sundowns holding a high line here. As Brandon Williams gets his first bit of action in already. Things are getting physical between the two captains. Things were peaceful between them in the early stages of the evening in the coin toss, but there they are on a rare occasion where they may be crossing paths. It's rather physical between the two of them, which may very well set the tone in what to expect here today. Coming to this game, having lost 2-1 in the last encounter, as mentioned earlier. Here they are pushing forward here with Adapti on the near side, pulling towards the far, and well, coming in on the blind side then as Ben Howard. And in the end, Sundowns looking to weather the storm here in the early exchanges. Well, he's going to need to be at his best, the man from Burkina Faso, in a game that could have a lot of passion and a lot of physicality, as well as both these sides look to take the game to one another. Williams, the busier of the two keepers in the opening five. Did concede in the last match, and well, has been amongst the best in South Africa from a goalkeeping point of view in goals conceded. He's conceded very little in South Africa, looking to switch that form over to the group stages here. And of course, he is a man that is comfortable with the ball at his feet, is Brandon Williams. Sundowns slowing things down here, all the way down to walking pace, just to take some of the steam out of the Algerians and the way they got this game underway. Experience coming to the fore here for Mamelodi Sundowns with their captain Brandon Williams. Well, not under pressure at all in taking his time about things yet. They're not closing down right from the front. Now they'll look to put Sundowns under a bit of pressure as they look to push forward for the first time this evening. Matthews with a flick on. Santos with his first touch of the evening. Now Sundowns with Mudau in and around that final third for the first time. Santos got the brace last time out. Algiers getting numbers back defensively. Naichi. Buguera. Sort of start we were all looking forward to between these two sides here. Nice pace to the game here. There'll be plenty of quality throughout the park. Matchups all across the field here. Mudau. Kekana will be the man playing alongside Cupido in the heart of that defense for Mamelodi Sundowns. Again, taking the pace out of the game here. Mamelodi Sundowns as they look to build from the back. Calm as you like. And playing in front of full houses all over the continent. So much experience in the squad in matches of this nature. Moguena. Allende, of course, will be responsible alongside Moguena for the rhythm of the game here for Mamelodi Sundowns, for the creative pass that looked to Nuno Santos, who's, of course, let things up since arriving at Mamelodi Sundowns this season. He really has been a great signing and arguably one of the signings of the season in the way of the Betway Premiership. Allende really are beginning to find the rhythm now as they look to get onto the front foot. The movement of Arenas closely watched by the captain then in Ayub. Now looking for the ball in behind the Sundowns defense. Watch the movement of the men off the ball here in their front three. Matthews. Well, they are doing their bits out in the stands to try and put Sundowns under pressure whenever they do get onto the ball. You can hear the boos coming out from the home fans. Sundowns with the man down. Van Lunga operating out wide on that far side. He's taking a knock in the lower back area. Ronald Williams has come a long way outside of his box here to try and have words with the match referee, not appreciating the treatment from Rulani Moguena's side. He'll know this Sundowns side so well. Rulani Moguena. There's the late challenge, the bit of contact coming in. As we mentioned earlier, we expected things to be physical between these two sides. Santos with a nice little back heel in. 9-time Algerian champions. Also 8-time cup winners. Won the Champions League on 4 occasions for Alger over the years. Sundowns, of course, the side that's had the most success from a South African point of view, and along with Orlando Pirates, the two sides in Southern Africa to have won the Champions League in the past. Again, taking control of the pace of the game here and frustrating the home support. And they've done a good job over the last 4 or 5 minutes for Sundowns in taking the pace out and while controlling the ball possession, keeping away from the opponents, patient in showing the experience. Williams has seen the ball possibly more than some of the outfield players in the way of touches on the ball here inside the opening 9 minutes. Now good movement off the ball here from Allende. Divine Lunga. Moguena, crucial that he has a good day here and looking for those long diagonal balls. Doesn't get off to a good start in that regard, and the flag should go up and does go up for offside as they look for the quick counter-attack. The home side. 90. Looking for the quick release again. Their movement of the ball in the front three as soon as they win the ball back is rather interesting here. IG takes off, but takes off a little early. That with support coming from this near side from Fahat. Well, during Rulani Moguena's tenure out at Mamelodi Sundowns, the big talking point was the style of play. Mamelodi Sundowns used under him, which was eye-catching. It was the big talking point in the way they went about their wins all over the continent and on the domestic scene as well. And many in the continent that haven't seen Alger's play will be looking to see how he's come out tactically in leading this side out in North Africa. Santos, space way in there. Lunga on the up and up out on that far side again. Men looking to make themselves options on their final thirds. Sundowns now beginning to dominate in the way of ball possession, but it's when they lose it when the problems start. And again, the movement of the ball here is a rather impressive late challenge. It looks like Mokoena doesn't agree with the referee then. But another set piece in what is a dangerous area here for Alger, and they will be under pressure. The officials immediately, the home players will look to add to the pressure that's coming from out in the stands here. They'll protest and let their feelings be known on just about every decision that, well, either goes their way and doesn't come with a card or doesn't go their way. Now, big question, was Mokoena late with that challenge? Desperate lunging challenge. And again, it's that movement of the ball that's causing problems when Algiers have it and win it in midfield inside the opening 10. No, the
Ibona Jalo likawana la Zinedine Ferhat. Zinedine Ferhat kena ipakanyetsa go katsa khileo. Sintse kopano. Mamelodi Sundowns ba go dira le bota la Tshipi. Le mo setshwanong sa nama. Ba go dira jalo le bota stopper sa Mamelodi Sundowns. Ronald Williams. Tshwanetse jaaka mo kapotene go rulaganya le botale go netefatsa gore a re bone gore ba tla dira mo kgwelenyeo a re bone jalo Zinedine a ba romela ko teng kgakala ba re thank you very much a ba lebogela seo Ronald Williams tshwanetse go lwa jalo le bokapotene wa naga ya setlhopha sa naga ya Algeria le ka wana la Ayub Abdelawai se le fait go thaogela mo letsatsi la gompieno mona yo wa ka kwa Burkina Faso mona yo wa Genotara a re bone jalo Kelo Kufido tshamekela jalo mo tseleng jaaka go molemo tletse lebala le letsa mothamo wa balatedi ba dikete di le 40,000 me seo ga ke selo fele se tshosa Mamelodi Sundowns ke se ba se tlwaetse bona mona ba bidikanya jaaka seboko sa mongana me bile karata e sorolana ya go tswela jalo le ka bona la Silva karata e sorolana ya go tswela jalo motshameki wa setlhopha sa Mamelodi Sundowns Rezino fa o lebela le bala le la Ali La Pointe sa di mothamo wa batho ba le somamane dikete le somamane o tla le tshwantshanya le lebala la Orlando ga le kgakala thata jalo le lebala la Orlando ga le kgakala thata jalo le lebala la the new Peter Mokaba ka thologelo mothamo wa balatedi ba wa tsena mo lebaleng le la tlhagetswe mo bekeng e fetileng setlhopha se Sagarulane Mokoena me Mamelodi Sundowns ba bone phenyo bone mo bekeng e fetileng phenyo ya Mamelodi Sundowns e tla bo e atolosa ketapele ya bone e tla bo e atolosa jalo ketapele ya bone re bone tshamekela jalo ko morago mo tseleng ya ga Ayub romela jalo ka kwa botlhaba jwa lebala thula ka tlhogo kwa morago Divine Marcelo Allende fela ba tswa ka yone gape re ba tla dira ba tsaba e busetsa kwa morago mo go ya Ayub a go bisa fafatshe fela ba gana kwa morago the Yellow Nation ba tsela yone gape Maleka go ka phunya jalo setlhopha sa Mamelodi Sundowns romela kwa pele Bongwera fela ba le gone fola ga itshola di tsweka kwa botlhaba jwa lephala go kaiwa jalo gore ke temana ba kgorobetsa jalo Divine nile le motshameko mo ntle maloba fa Afrika Borwa ni thulane jalo le setlhopha sa mogabo sa Zimbabwe le ka bona le la Divine Lunga tla re mo kgweding e tlanya Sedimo Nthule o tla bojanong e nna sera e nna maba wa batshameki ba tshwana le Teboho Mokoena kwa Bafana ba batla ba le kwa metshamekong ya AFCON Khuliso Modau tla go pela ditlhopha tse pedi tseo Zimbabwe ga mmogo le Afrika Borwa tla bo di tshameka mo groupong e le nosi kwa metshamekong eo Rosino Mrembula tsereganya bana le gaufi ya re le tla se bona seo kwa Pretoria ga le kitla le se bona fa lona Mamelodi Sundowns ya go tloswa kgwileo tloswa jalo ke Ben Kemasa romela le tele kwa pele ba kgabagantse mo lagare ba ya ka lebelo fa ba ya tlhasela Mamelodi Sundowns tlhopha se sa Alger re bona ba tla dira mo kgweding ba romela fela tsengwalo tokgileo se khutla tlhaloganya Mamelodi Sundowns jaaka itlhaloganya Rulane Mokoena tlhaloganya batshameki ba Sundowns bontsi jwa bone ba ba mo lebaleng ga jana ba dirile ka fa tlase ga gage monna yo wa Rulane Mokoena le boaka le gone ke ka mokgwa ke gorang ke re ba tlhaloganya sentle tshameki ba mmalwa fela fa motho a lebella jalo bana ba babedi ba ka kwa Portugal Nuno Santos Miguel Regino ke bone motho ba tla reng ga ba mo tlhaloganye sentle ga ba tlhaloganye sentle fela bontsi jwa batshameki ba tlhaloganya sentle a re bone jalo eke thula ka tlhogo be kokwanelwa bontsi jwa batshameki be kopana jalo le Sailor Man no Disco King a re bone o tla dirang ka kgweleo Sailor Man tshamekela mo tseleng ya ka Grab e wela mo tseleng ya ka Ama bone Marcelo Allende ba mafafatshe mo tsereganya ra tlhomiwa mo khutsanya ane fela ke se kgatlamela masisi Khuliso Modau ba mo itaka loleme motsereganyi wa mokgalema Khuliso Modau re le ka re sekanyana fela se morwalo o thata Marcelo Allende le ka bona ka kwa nageng ya Chile se kgatlamela masisi segolo thata jang fa motshameko e kete o nna bokete o na le go kgona go rola Sundowns a le nosi o nositse mo bekeng e fetileng ka kwa Loftus-Versfeld kwa Hatfield kwa Pretoria mo bekeng e fetileng le ka bona le setseng wa dino tse dintle next Gesine a re bone kgwele ba e tsaba romela mo tsola ditene thula ka tlhogo e ntse le mo karolong e kotse Divine Lunga tsela ka kwa ntle mo tsereganya ra re goal kick simolla go tshologa sethitho mona wa ka kwa Burkina Faso simolla go tshologa sethitho ke gore le ka re utlo go dirana mane tona ya tiro fa ba go e tlhoma kwa morago kgweleo tlhomiwa jalo ke Alexis o e tlhomile kwa morago Alexis o e tlogelela jalo mo tseleng ya ka Phongwera simolola jalo kwa morago re bone ba tla dira mo kgweding eo ba tla ba iphatla ka diphuka the People's Club ba tla ba iphatla ka diphuka fela Mrembola o tsengeloto mo kgweding e tswa jalo gape ka bone kwa morago Phongwera re wa romela kwa para jalo Tebza Mrembola mo tsereganya ra e tlhomiwa le la kgapetsa go fitlhelela ga jana phala mo motsatsing la gompieno fela bonnete ke gore ba thologetse balatedi ba setlhopha se sa Alger ba thologetse ka bontsentse go pela gore ditekete tsa motshameko go tlhalositse gore di rekisitswe fela mo diureng di le pedi ke fa di ne setse di fedile ditekete tsa motshameko Keanu Cupido tshamekela mo go Divine Lunga Keanu Cupido go molemo Baleka go bona gore ba ka bona phatla kae Mamelodi Sundowns khunisha modao silent a ba romela le telle kwa pele thula ka tlhoko kwa morago ke le Marwani Rezino o batla jalo Igram Rainers ba mafafatse motseraganyare ga ngwana emelela a re bone jalo Phongwera mona ka kona ka nyakini a batla kgwele wantsa e pilentela pass ke bona kotsi ke bona matlhomola a re bone re batla dira mo kgweleng eo tsere ka le ba go tsola le tene ba tsa mona ka morago motseraganyare play on motseraganyare motshameko o phepa o tswelele pele a re ga go se labe sepe se se dirilweng fa fela ba go emisa jalo motshameko mme ba go emisa jalo motshameko re le mo motsotsong wa bosoma mabedi eo re tsamaileng go itlela ka jana leeto le re le tsamaileng ke la metsotso e le soma mabedi ntse e le nnoto menona phezulu baforobo style e le nnoto the People's Club.
As you'd expect, busy day for the referee already inside the opening 20. It's physical, men are taking the game to one another. And already the hits have been coming in from a physical standpoint here in the individual duels. Peter starts in and around the final third, going with the home side as one would expect here. And it's interesting when you look at both these sides and the way things have fared in the league here. And for this group of supporters, they've got all the reason in the world to believe things should go their way in this their first home match in the group stages. Number one in the league out in Algeria currently. 7 they've won. They are yet to lose at home or throughout the season. Rani Mugwena's men domestically. How's this for a defensive record they've got so far? 0.38 goals conceded a match. They've kept 6 clean sheets, the same number of clean sheets as Mamelodi Sundowns. Both have won the same number of matches. Of course, Sundowns have lost just the one time so far this season in the league. Now, space to this near side. Madao, as you'd expect, on the up and up. They look to cover a lot of ground, going forward and dropping back defensively. Already with the movement of the Alexo Pengura out right on this near side when they do get the ball and look to get it forward quickly and are trying to exploit the Alexo of Lunga and Mudau pushing forward. It will be quite a test for the left and right back. There is Lunga having pushed forward, looking to drop back and apply a bit of pressure defensively. Mudau. Well, there's a lovely pace and feel about this game if you are just joining us. Allende and the company yet to really test windows in between the sticks for Alger. For the most part, when they have seen the ball, it's been inside their own half. Mamelodi Sundowns yet to really get going in and around that final third. Such has been the start here from the likes of Marwani out wide on the right side. Mudau. Seeing more and more of it now. There's Racinho. Sundowns able to get some numbers inside that box as Alger is quick to drop back defensively. As long as Sundowns have the ball in these sort of areas, of course, Alger won't mind at all here in allowing them to keep hold of the ball. It's when it goes over that halfway line where things will get competitive. Already the battle in the middle of the park between Mugwena, Allende, and the likes of Kemasa and Dabti has been rather interesting and physical as well. Now, Sundowns getting some numbers over that halfway line. Lunga. Matthews with the decoy run down the line. Again, they're closing down the options for the forward pass so impressively. Mugwena's men here. Gegan. And we'll patiently wait for the moment to push forward here as the creativity now comes in with good movement off the ball here from Sundowns. Mudau looking for the best moment going forward. They've won the early corner here. Mudau beginning to get in and around that final third, as you would expect to this game. moving in towards the midway point of the first half. Numbers now able to push forward. They haven't really been able to test Gwendo's in open play. From the jet ball. Well, it could very well bring things to life here. And they put Gwendo's in the company under a bit of pressure. 5 in the box. Lots of movement from the away side here. And trying to find the space. Ball played in towards that far side. Defended by Alger. Sundowns keeping them on the back foot. Now, good numbers. Matthews arriving on the far post. Blind side of that defense. And, well, the height was maybe a little bit awkward. And that it came off his knee or possibly his thigh. That's the quality in the ball in here from Allende. Well, the South American is one of those that look to get onto the ball and make things happen in finding a rhythm and coming up with those sort of creative plays here. Lovely ball in quality as the Sundowns will apply pressure on the near post in the center and of course out to their far side and create their best moment going forward. First real test for Algiers defensively. Halaima. This is going to be a battle on the near side. Angola up against Model. Again, physical between the two. Wondering just how much the likes of Benguda and Fahad will look to cheat, or maybe I should say Naiji out on that far side will look to cheat when Longa as well as Mujao push forward and trying to ensure they capitalize on their space now. Longa with another quality piece of play in the ball in, looking for Nuno Santos. Benguda. Keeping it alive then is Naiji. Space on the far side. Fahad in the central areas here. Making the run inside that box. It's a good ball in. It does find Fahad, but couldn't get up high enough to get power on that ball and really test Ronwen Williams, but more like it from the home side and trying to work it out wide and find the quality in the opponent. And now it was with his head up and a quality ball in, and Majao, the man beaten in the air on that occasion. Champions League and CAF Confederations Cup come alive once again. With round 2 of the group stages. Last thing they want is to lose 2 games on the trot in the group stages and getting the group stages started. I'll know that with this opponent here this evening, it could very well be possible. If they aren't at their best, they will have 10 on the field for the time being. Whereas Benguda looking to make his way towards that halfway line to continue his battle against Model. Cardoso, of course, at Sundowns with a 58% win record so far this season, so close to 60. And of course, has had some difficult points in the early stages of the season. Things are pretty much sailing smoothly. In recent times, they showed it last week with that 3-1 win over the men from the DRC. Home game, this their first away game over the group stages, Mamelodi Sundowns. Well, they'd love to pick up 6 points in setting the pace nice and early in the group stage. Gwendo's with the full push forward here. Cupido getting up well. Both these sides will have to be patient and are looking to create chances here on the front foot for Mamelodi Sundowns. Of course, their last win was back on the 24th of September when Golden Arrows did have the beating of them with the 1-0 scoreline. Since then, they've been in red hot form, having won the last two, and the last one against Orlando Pirates. Now under pressure with Bamura pushing forward. Now is that a foul on the edge of the area? Cupido quick to look to the referee from Burkina Faso to deny the physical contact, and in the end, frustration for Alger. Yeah, they want the penalty. And once again, Jean Ouattara is under a tremendous amount of pressure.
Noya Orlando Pirates inanusiwa jalo ke Legs of Thunder Jeris Kosana tulani fela jara batsabeka morago kana kweo ya o thomiwa khileo tserganye ke gore le kare wa dira mo letsatsing la gompieno second engwe le engwe ya motshameko tshwanetse gore ba sa bonye a butse matlho motsereganyi ke yo mona mo gatseng karata e serolwana ebile le ya ntlha ya setlhopha sa Mamelodi Sundowns ya mogala jalo ke Keno Cupido ba go tlamega ba go patelesega go dira le bota le le popota baagi ba itse ba ba gang na le se se bidiwang Marine Force fa o le motho yo o itseng tsa dikago ke se Mamelodi Sundowns ba tshwanetse go dira le bota la bone sone go tsenya dilo tseo tse di tla matlafatsang le botale o ge thula le bota kwa morago sireletsa kwa morago Sundowns ba ba isireletsa kwa morago the Brazilians bone ba romela gape kwa pele lebeletse mothusa motsereganyi yo ka kwa botlhaba jwa lebala fela Ronan Williams a ba tswa ka kgwele ba ne ba rile ba kaile ba re offside Cupido fa fatshe le dimetara se ga se dimetara ke dikilometara me go na le motshameki Cupido ke ene o fa fatshe thuso ya potlako ba tsena jalo mo lebaleng go motlamela moraga gore amogele jalo karate serolwana mo motsotsong le no se o fetileng me lebeletse fa itshwereng gone kete e kgobalo e masisi me lebelela jalo difola ga di tsweletse go phaphasela mo moyeng tshwanetse go tsena mo leteng go tla ka kwa go leba ka kwa Loftus Versfeld tshwanetse go tsena mo leteng monna yo Rulani ra go a tshamekile kgwele ya dinao setlhopheng sa Orlando Pirates ga mmogo le Jomo Cosmos Julius KK Sono wa emelela Keno Cupido fela ga go lebega ka tswelela pele ka motshameko e kete ke kgobalo e masisi go lebega le kgobalo e masisi tla bona re tla lebelela banka ya Sundowns gore e tla reng me ka mokgwa o monang a tswa ka gone ke tlo tla boa go lebega tla boa Cupido solofela seo se tla itumedisa jalo wa Miguel Cardoso, se tla itumedisa jalo wa Miguel Cardoso. Potsa gore o tswa kae Ronon Williams. Ya go tloswa kwa morago kgile ke setlhopha de Brazilians. Ya go tloswa jalo kwa morago ditshimega tsa ngwaga wa 2016 2016 ka fa tlase ga bokatese jwa ga Hamilton Jungle Spitso Mosimane. Mme ke gore le ka re batshameki ba ba setseng fela mo setlhopheng seo Themba Zwane, Dennis Onyango, Thapelo Morena ke bangwe ba batshameki kgotsa motho a ka re ke bone ba ba setseng mo setlhopheng se se fentseng sejana seo ka 2016. Bone Rezino na le lotho le lentle la molema le ene motshameki yo ke te go tsamaya Costa Riviera ke te ga go ama Sundowns thata jalo le fa phatlhone le gone fela ga go ama jalo thata fa o lebela batshameki ba babedi ba mo tseleng ya ga Osama a romela mo lebokoso la ditene fela e feta mo ditlhogong tsa banna retologa jalo kwa morago ka Nuno Santos kgamela jalo kwa morago mo go Seilamen Tebza Mrembola Teboho Mokwena Divine fela bo ba tsetse kgweleo pos wa go amogela karata tsala tshameka sentle tapti a mo lemoga motsereganyi phalane se se ledile fela a tsa tshwetso ya go ragela kgwele kgakala mashelo a ende a mo kgogile ka jerese Tashrik Matthews wa we tlosa tota we me fapela ka yone tapti ke na go tlosa kgweleo labi tapti ke na go tlosa kgweleo ba itlosetse a bona ba tla dira ka yone ebe wela jala mo tseleng ya ga Rezena Seilamen go molemo busetsa jalo ko Ronon Williams yo balela go rareng yo balela jalo go rareng kwa pele we tshamekela fela fapela ga ba go tsala ditene mo go molemo Arbone Grant Kepiro Tashrik go molemo Ronon Williams wata go na karolo ya go neletsana kgweleo Nuno Santos robela jalo kwa pele Arbone Tashrik adara ke mona wa Igram tshamekela jalo ba ba isa ka serete gape Rezino banna ba ka Portugal Arbone mona ba mo Portuguese fela kgwele wela jalo mo diatleng a tsega Alexis ba ne ba leka go yaga lekgatlha la bobedi monna yo a nna fa fatshe le ka bona le ka kwa nageng ya Guinea Alassane Ponguera bona motsamao wa banna ba fela ba tlhoka lesego mo kgweding eo ba tlhokile lesego mo kgweding eo setlhopha se ke setlhopha sa mo malobeng maybe le tla go pagara ke bona setlhopha sa ntlha go fenya jalo bosimega jwa kontinente setlhopha se sa MC Alger ngwaga wa 1976 fa ba re ba fenya se se ne se itsege jaaka Africa Cup of Champions Clubs mme re setse jalo ka metsotso e le metlhano gore motshameko o tlo ya go ikhutsa Mamelodi Sundowns ga ise ba tsikinye letloa setlhopha sa the People's Club ga ise ba tsikinye letloa e ntse le noto Mamelodi Sundowns not MC Alger.
Well, Alger, like you do say, those fans have waited a long time to see the side being crowned African champions since '76. And as far as Algerian football, they are the other two giants, of course, out in Algeria that have been crowned African champions on 2 occasions apiece. Kapidi and Setif. In fact, the last time a side from Algeria was crowned the champions of Africa was in 2014. So I want to end that wait, which is just over 10 years now. Well, this first half has flown by. If you've been with us from the beginning, Jean Ntwara has officiated and held this game together quite impressively. There's the matchup that's been rather interesting so far. And as well as Mudau. Bunga having some work to do out to that far side. So Alger is looking for the strong ending to the first half. Lovely footwork did from Tabti. Space and numbers getting into the ball. And the ball is playing in, finds Bangura. Sets it up for the shots. Follow-up shot to the again, but he's on the line here from Mamelodi Sundowns. Safety from Mudau. Pressure from Algiers. Now, the fans are pulling them forward here and are looking for that strong ending to the first half as they, once again, have it here with Halaima. Sundowns players so quick to come out from the defensive areas here. Flagger stayed down here with the movement in the attacking areas. So impressive from Verhaert and company. In the end, he had time, he had space, and went for the lob over Williams, but couldn't quite get it right. Best chance of the game this stuff. Sundowns pushed up quite high here, held that line impressively. Did Verhaert. And throughout this first half, we've mentioned how well they've timed their runs and how the likes of Halaima are finding the quality. And the balls looking to feed the likes of Niger. Had time, had space, and Williams did just about enough here. Came out and didn't overcommit. Forced him to make the decision to go over the top. Looking to be the first player to score for Algiers in the group stages of the Champions League. This year, that wait continues. Sundowns yet to really find joy in getting Rainers into some interesting areas here to try and have a good look at goals so far. He is being impressively watched by the likes of Halaima and Ayub. Taking that impressive defensive record that they've got domestically, bringing it on to the Champions League stages. The one draw for them at home so far in the group stages of this year's Champions League. Or rather, in this year's Champions League, I should say, all in all. Again, Verhaert busy here. That interesting movement, this time caught offside, then just off. There's that great understanding. As soon as they have the ball in the middle of the park, the movement always there, and always coming across beautifully on the left, right, and centrally here to try and stretch the Sundowns defense. Clearly something that's been worked on in practice. with the midfielders, Dabji and company, always looking for that forward pass. Whenever they do come under a bit of pressure in the way of the pace of the game and a bit of action happening around the defensive third of the game, Mamelodi Sundowns, we've seen them do this time and time again throughout this first 45, where they slow it down, and Ronald Williams is a man who won't hide away from the ball. He wants it and will use all of those years of experience on the international stage, either in club football or for Bafana Bafana, to try and frustrate the opponents, wait for their moment on the front foot. But for now, as things stand, Sundowns will most likely be the happier of these two sides, having known just how tough this test could be. Now, Rainers. Nice turn, but nicely read as well by Gagana defensively, in anticipating a touch. Able to get away from Adele for just a moment. Then the cover defense was good enough from a Sundowns point of view. So 3 minutes added on to what's been a lively first half, very competitive first half between these two sides. If you are just joining us, the one thing that has been missing is clear-cut opportunities, and the quality we've seen out in that field, the likes of Yagan, Cupido, Ayub and Halaima, those that have most likely enjoyed the first half the most, the defenders' game so far in this first half. But pressure, again, Naiji, the busybody, out in the attack. Ngarwani. Mwena's done well here to not only win it back, but avoid a few challenges and get beyond a few men now. Needs to make the right decision around that final third, and well, you've waited and waited for his moment to win it back, and well, easy as you like. Angoda, space on that far side. Just about a minute over this first half remaining. Again, the movement from no scoreline into the half-time break. Interesting that when you look at Alger's, outside of that loss last week, they had 1-3 on the trot, and they've been rather impressive, but also had scored 2 or more goals so far this season on 3 or so occasions this season. When they have won, it's been maybe 1-0 scorelines. They haven't really blown sides out the park on a regular basis, but they have been able to, firstly, keep an impressive home record and come up with the win so far. But at the end of this first half, they aren't able to break down Mamelodi Sundowns, who've been stubborn defensively. It's 0-0 in what is an interesting first 45 out in Algiers.
Mwana kwa Burkina Faso Gino Tara abaibudula pala ko tsimolo ya motsameko simula fela ka kopa kopetsana batsameki ba simula fela ka kopa kopetsana Akitsi labe batsameki ba khela didao la go khamatsa ile ba go tlosa le tatlhelo ya go tloswa tshalo ya tlhua tshalo ke Amin Bongwera wa ya kalebelo la tla khwele tsena ka le go sola le tele ya go la tshalo mo tseleng ya ga Ikram Rainers yo motha ka reng bo nnete ke gore ga yo mo motshameko wa letsatsi la gompieno Ikram Rainers ga yo go tlelele mo motshamekong Ikram me monate wa kgang ke gore bontsi jwa nako le fa seo o tla mmona tsena mo letloeng a re bone jalo Ponkwena a ba kgaba sekhutlo Sailorman a mo detsa Sailor a mo pateletsa go dira phoso ya go tloswa le goal kick Julio ba tsweletse balatedi ba MC Alger ba tsweletse go rotloetsa setlhopha sa bone go kgona go utlwa ka modumo ka kwe a re tla bona seo fa ba gorogile mo Aforika Borwa ka bo Yellow the Yellow Nation a ba tla tlatsa lebala la Loftus fela jaaka the People's Club MC Alger ba tladitse jalo lebala Ronan Williams a Divine a ba ja pos a re bone gore ba tla dirang ka kgweleo a re bone ba tla dirang le ka la Ponkwena Signaloto na ba tla jalo ra we tshamekela jalo mo tseleng ya ga Ben Khabasi na re we tshamekela mo tseleng ya ga Ben Khabasi a go tlosa le tatlhelo Ponkwena ke ene o tsang ditatlhelo tsa setlhopha se sa MC Alger go molemo tlhatlhola jalo moiso ya go tloswa le tatlhelo gape kgwele ba etsa ba e rometse fela go thusa motsereganya ba ka gore a ye go akgiwa jalo ke setlhopha sa the Brazilians Mamelodi Sundowns Divine Lunga ke ena go akgelang kgweleo mme fa o tlhoma bofofu fela fa thokofale o kgona go lemoga batshameki ba Sundowns ba ya kwa godimo le kwa tlase mo na le no se setseng amogetse karate serolwana e ka bona la khopfelo go molemo Sailorman Khuliso Modao Teboho Mokoena ke itse gore kgopisiwa ke eng monna yo wa Ronan Williams kona tlolela kwa godimo bone Marcelo Ayende go molemo we ba tšhala mo tseleng ya ga Nuno Santos ba leka go ya ga the Brazilians ba leka go ipatla ba ipatlisisa the Brazilians a re bone tšhala Nuno Marcelo Ayende Sailorman Khuliso Modao Teboho Rembola Mokoena Kupido Arbone Chalo Sailorman wa go patelesega go ibusetsa Chalo mo tseleng ga Ronan Williams gona go lemoga Sundowns gore ba ka di dira tsotlhe fela e se go latlhegela mo motshamekong wa bogolo ba ka iponela ntlha mo motshamekong bogolo ba ka iponela ntlha mo motshamekong mme fela e seng go tswa fa ba sa bona sepe Sailorman o Disco King Mrembola Teboho Mokoena ba etsa ba romela kwa pele fela ba re kwa ntle ke botshabelo Bogwera a ba re kwa ntle ke botshabelo Tashrik tshamekela mo go Marcelo Ayende yo ke gore leng ka re fa go nna thata o kgona go e rola ka magetla Mamelodi Sundowns mme Ronan Williams o ratile thata sešeng jaana go tsena la mogare ga lebala a tla tswa le kone mokgwa o mošwa wa kgwele ya dinao a re bone Tashrik a ba romela Tashrik fela ba e disa kwa morago tatlhelo dikgwele di pedi mo lebaleng mme go a bonala gore ne tsotse ka kwa ntle kgweleo matsereganye le mothusi wa gagwe ga ba lemoga kgweleo Divine Lunga ke ena go tlosang kgweleo gorogile mo Aforika Borwa gorogela kwa setlhopheng se se ka kwa Lipoponga la India kwa Scopensa Coldeneros le kawanale la Divine Lunga Romela Molibogosola de Tene Arbone Tabala Jalo che Marcelo Samigala Jalo Mozzilenia Resino Mazraganyar Poso Chialo na Yellow Nation Timia Gama Katal Sumelo Provedita Leja Maestro pasa MC Alger Makatwale Robongwe Libella Jalo Ricopazze Scopazze che siamo Malobenga 1921 Libella Sundowns 1970 Homonimo Buseza Jalo Mogo the captain Mamelodi was a KPC. Some Mamelodi Sundowns. Sailor. Nuno. Resino. Tatelo. Baraya Kiwe Kilona. Baraya Kiwe Kwena Chalo. Marwan Khalif. Khalif Marwan. Kenawa Kalam Kilio. Setireme. Setirbele le Tomo Patengar. Setirilitile. Hobana gore ke bo mama wa tla thuba gane setse re emere be le tsogo mo phatlenga hobana gore ke bo mama ntla khweba mo letloenga phoso ora pelwana ba tsameke mo letsatsing la gompieno na se tsa re wa lwa Igram Rainers ya go tlhomiwa jalo ke tlhomilwe jalo ke le ka bona la Marcelo Ayende ke na tlhomileng kgwedi yao ba dira le bota kwa morago setlhopha sa the People's Club, the Brazilians ba go romela Marcelo Ayende tlhoka ditlhogo tsa banna e be wela mo tselenga ya ga re kwa godimo ba tla ratiwa kgwedi tse di regiwang ke bo Shashango Zulu Bile ki bua jalo kan Gomez Zulu ta kopla ka moso Springboks tulana jalo le Nakaya Wales le tsala ka kwantle khilio ba go tlosa ba ya khile Mamelodi Sundowns ke bo mo kwena Samigala jalo mo tseleng ya Sailor we bana jalo go molimo Cupido Divine na le tapti ha mo khotla ka meno na mo matlonga mo tsereganya ba re mo tshameka o tswele pele a batla emisa a batla ntse ka kwantle Sundowns khotlile ka meno na mo le tlonga mo nna yo wa tapti Jacob bona ka mo tsamaye ketlileng fela go feta ona fetile Divine Lunga khalimi wa fela monna yo seraganyi wa mo khalima fela Divine wa go emela go tswela pele ka motshameko teacher Steve Kompela kapteni wa Maloba setlhopha sa Free State Stars kwa Stars tata motho ka rialo ana sefatlhego sa Garulane potso le no se gore ke bona leng nna mo motshamekong a ka robala boroko fa tla bona phinyo khatlhano le setlhopha sa sa mo Malobeng fela mothoetso metsotso le lesome mo karolo ya bedi re tsamailenga metsotso le lesome matlhano le botlhano mo motshamekong ga ise go diragale sepe ga ise bone leng ko e tswang le mina Sizwe
chance now for Alger to again apply a bit of pressure and look for their best moment on the front foot here in the second half. Ayende, Matthews, Longa, Very quick to get numbers behind the ball here and compete right from the front. Alger is frustrated that that decision didn't go their way then. And they felt they'd done enough. The pressure applied on Nuno Santos to win it nice and high up the field. The work rate from the likes of Kemasa, Ben Haua, is so impressive. When Sundowns have the ball here from the Algerians, they're really are putting in a hustle in the middle of the park, not allowing the creativity and rhythm to come through from the likes of Allende. Mokwena having to drop very deep to get involved. Mokwena, no option for the forward pass. We've seen very little of Ikram Reyners, thanks to a lack of service. Nice touch on that occasion as Allende again forced backwards here. Alger is keeping a lovely structure defensively, working extremely hard in denying Sundowns forward movements. Allende, nice turn now. Movement is good from the likes of Matthews. Reyners, option is good out on that far side. Madao, 3 options in the box, and how many were back defending then for Algiers? Is it hustle again? This time it's Ferhat applying pressure. They are working hard defensively in all departments here. The likes of Gekana and Cupido will really need to be decisive when they're on the ball here. Pressure applied as soon as the ball goes over the halfway line. Problem they are having, the likes of Gekana, when they look to find the forward passes. So they're doing such a great job the home side at denying them that home pass. That's that extra decision it takes to maybe make up your mind on what to do with the ball here, is allowing the likes of Bengoda to apply their pressure and close down right from the front. So after a good first half and a good competitive game against Mudau in that first half, we've seen very little of Bengoda as he makes way here in the second. First change of the evening. Up to boil somewhat here in the second half. Looking to maintain that work rate, defensively and offensively, is Roland Mokwena. Now, Allende can close down quickly. How they've maintained this pace and work rate is impressive for Algiers. Again, they want a side that's scoring goals galore so far this season. Mentioned they've scored 2 or more goals on 3 or so occasions this season. That is the whole unit and how impressively they work defensively. It's allowed them to walk away with 1-0 wins and maybe the odd 2-1 win here and there. Defensively they are solid, and we've seen that here this evening. The work rates, the structure, the planning, and cancelling out some of the best Sundowns players on the ball. Mokwena, Allende, Racinho, Santos, all getting the ball in areas that aren't really hurting Algiers. Now, Laima. Kemasa. Dapti. Matthews looking to close down right from the front. Ayub comfortable with the ball at his feet, then with a touch to find a pocket of space to drift into. Again, for Sundowns, as much as they've struggled on the front foot, they'll be happy with their defensive effort. However, this evening it hasn't been easy. They've really had to work hard in the defensive third and protecting Ronwen Williams. He hasn't had an avalanche of shots to have to deal with. Again, they look for the ball over the top for the movement in the attacking areas. One hour football, just the one change made here in the second half. Buera again with the decoy run on the near side, and another one in the middle of the park. Must have been so impressive with the movement of the ball here, the Algerians. The Sundowns seem to have lessen those moments for them here in the second half, those moments of menace in and around the final third. Cardoso, during the half-time break, hasn't made changes to the personnel, but certainly on the defensive side of the game seems to have quite down that front line three, to a point where one of the changes came from that front three. Both these sides not in action midweek, so they played last weekend in the Champions League. All the focus this week has been on arguably the biggest game on the continent. Now, if you're a true football fan here, you won't mind so much the lack of goal-mouth action here. It's about the quality out on the field and cancelling each other out, and the high-quality football that we are seeing out there from both these sides. Both just lacking a bit of magic in and around the final third. Capito, strong in the air. Impressively done in winning the third occasion then from Elaima. Had nowhere to go really. Protected the ball and waited for the contact before going to ground. Nowhere to go. It's intelligently the set piece. Movement is good on the near side. Buguera head up, and really numbers getting into the box for Sundowns, doing a good job at denying the option for the early cross. Tapti. Reynes has, for the most part, chased lost causes during the course of the evening. Again, the contact on Kegana will step, long I should say, with play allowed to continue. Then Sundowns able to keep it moving with the likes of Santo coming in for touches. Mutau now. Yeah, where's Santo? Raiders. Well, one thing he'll feel is he's dealt with his assignment rather well. The captain of Alger here this evening, Ayub. The duels against trainers and in taking him out the equation have been very impressive. Reading the play on that occasion and looking to anticipate the pass towards trainers. Seen very little of Alex Guendos in the second half. The goalkeeper of Alger, in fact, we've hardly mentioned him throughout the evening. He's been a spectator for the most part this evening. Kamasa. In Tapsi and company have done that well when they've got nowhere to go and no real option for the pass, outnumbered. It's about protecting the ball and knowing when to win the set pieces or the fouls. Williams. The Sundowns, like we saw in the first half, will be allowed to bring it down to walking pace. Algiers. Difficult to find space between the lines to play through. And I haven't really seen them go long. Sundowns, that's not necessarily their style. In the way they play, they like to build from the back here. And they found a team that's perfectly prepared for the Sundowns way in stifling them. Stifling their creativity. So 65 minutes gone by, 0-0 the scoreline still in this Champions League encounter between the heavyweights. The Sundowns now again forced backwards. OJ
Motoetso di kapatsa peritse setse di remisitse setse letile fela bona Sundowns sirela tsa kwa morago ka wana la Ayub romela le tele kwa pele fela Sundowns ba bua ka mo mpenya le bala Rolani Mokwena dirile phetogo le nosi fela monna yo wa Miguel Cardoso setsana le tumelo mo tlhopheng sa simolotse motshameko ka sone Mashelo a yende a re bone go molemo tshamekela jalo mo tseleng ya ga Rezeno ba e tshamekela jalo mo tseleng ya ga Mrembola Tebogo Mokwena a ka rraga le kgakala fela wa tsa kgwele o tsa tshwetsa go e romela kwa pele bone Tapti tsereganyare pos tsereganyare Igram Reiners Tsentselo Toma kwa ka jalo kgele ya go tlhomiwa jalo ke setlhopha sa banna ba naga ya Algeria MC Alger latlhegetswe mo bekeng e fetileng ka Labotlhano setlhopha sa Al Hilal se renka Sontaga bone ba thulana jalo setlhopha sa St Eloi Lupopo e latlhegetsweng mo bekeng e fetileng kwa Loftus setlhopha seo sa ka kwa Lubumbashi kwa the Democratic Republic of Congo latlhegetswe ka dinone le tharo e lengwe me fa lebella mo tseleng ya bone ya metshameko ye tseba bona dintlha di le tharo ba nosa di le tharo ka tlhano le Orlando Pirates kwa Lubumbashi ba etela Pirates ba nusiwa di le tharo kwa Orlando ba etela kwa Loftus ba nusiwa tse tharo kwa Loftus setlhopha seo sa St Eloi Lupopo ya go tloswa jalo kwa morago tla ba dira phoso fela kgona go tswa jalo ka kgwedi mo Ben Khamisa tshamekela jalo mo tseleng ya ga Morwane romela jalo mo tseleng ya ga Bayazid ba dira phoso a re bona offside okay wa jalo offside monna ba pitugolo ga fafatshe berika mafafatshe fela Tebogo Mokwena o tsweletse walwa Tebogo Mokwena balwa jalo le mothusa motsereganye le fela bonnete ke gore o dutse mo sehubeng sa gage ka meno setlhako sa se rweleng monna yo wa Nuno Santos ga se gore wa itira monna wa mokapotene Abdelawi bontsha motsereganye monna wa uthara gore ba robetse tshalo ka setlhako mo godimo ga dikgopho tsa me ba wetlo sa kgileo a re bone tshalo Khalif semola tshalo mo ga Alexis ya o e bantshalo mo tseleng ya ga Halaimia Mashelo a yende Kiana Cupido batho ba ka kwano ba nyorilwe ba nyorotse go bona no yo dutseng kwa gae ga jana lebeletse motshameko o nyoretse go bona no gore tla tswa ka fa letlhakore le fenga Mashelo a yende Tebogo batang kolopa ka motho e tshamekela mo go Mashelo Cupido mona le nosi wa mogetseng karata fela ba dira phoso Mrembola ba potse kwa morago Sundowns a re bone fa ba potse fela go molemo ba tla ba tla thuso ha se re mo kgeleng ya go molemo ba batlile ba itlhaba ka lerumo ba batlile ba iphatla ka diphuka le tsa bone banna ba Sundowns Mashelo a yende Nuno Tebogo Mokwena Grant Kekana tshamekela mo tseleng ya ga Mashelo tshameka ke tega ba kgakala le legae a divine Marcelo Allende, a Resino, Marcelo. How about to get about the Jana Sundowns, but I got to say, coach, if I was to move about Kuala Lequili. I got to Jana Tabako Pulam Ship. Monayonaka, Konagoka, Tuva, Sewele, le portaling Willingwe, Nakong Willingwe, Faturi le Sente, Tembazwani, by Romela Quapele, Divine, Romela Monaco Solar 18, Fella Varagone Tapti, Abaromela Quapele, Cano Capito, Ronald Williams. Saka Rulani Mukwena ga se bontshe boitumelo bope o ipotsa dipotso mme ebile o tlhoka dikarabo wa itse bokotsi jwa monna yo o tabogang ka kgwele yo Rulani Mukwena o mo tlhaloganya sentle a re bone Chalo Nuno a ba pega mo mokgatlheng wa ga Sailorman wa itse ke a solofela o buile le batshameki ba gagwe re lebelela nyo mokhutshwanyane wa nomoro ya bolesome le bongwe mo lebeleleng se ka la suta bothoko ga gagwe nako ngwe le ngwe a ka dira sengwe le sengwe go molemo go batla Sailor tatlhelo Niretewele Nakwele metsotso e le lesome le borobedi gore motshameko ye bokhutlhonga khuliso morao simolola mo tseleng ya ga Cupiro Marcelo simolola jalo gape mo tseleng kwa morago Mamelodi Sundowns ba buile botlhe ba ka fa morago ga kgwele banna ba setlhopha se sa MC Alger Divine ba ineletsana fela ga go tle gore ba phunye Sailorman Nuno Tebza a ba sentse kgwele morembola dirisa botlhale Divine ba dirise botlhale Divine tletse le bala lotlhe mona yo wa Marcelo Allende Tebza Mrembola Teboho Mokwena se bona ka kwa botlhokong kwa Bethlehem Sailorman go molemo Grand Kekana re a gona re lebile jalo metsotso e le lesome le botlhano kotara ya ura ya bofelo mo motshamekong re ntse re letetse nno mo motshamekong dira motshameko gape Ronald Williams ba dira motshameko Mamelodi Sundowns e latlhile Cano Capito e latlhile Capito Bogwera ke na go tsa nkgweleo Divine ba mafafatse wana mona dingwaga le soma matlhano le boraro Miguel Cardoso mothuetso kotara ya ura gore motshameko o tlo ya kwa bokhutlhonga re emetse nno.
There are currently two huge games on in North Africa right now. This is one of them. 0-0 the scoreline, no separating Alger and the Mamelodi Sundowns, and of course, out to Morocco, Rabat taking on Al Ahly. 1-1 the scoreline in that encounter. No separating those two sides. As the home side here looks to make yet another change. Keeper. The second change being made by Ralmo Guena here this evening. Sundowns will have to deal with yet another change here. Masusa. In the tactical changes and personnel changes being made by Ralmo Guena. First half, they had more menacing moments in and around that final third. The likes of Cupido at times were under a tremendous amount of pressure. And now did make the adjustments in the second half and have done a much better job in the final third. Also seeing much more of Allende in the middle of the park. And yes, it's not necessarily happening around the final third for them, but they are doing a great job at holding on to it. And with Allende in the middle of the park here, seeing plenty of it, able to find the space and just keep it away from Algiers for longer periods. His movement of the ball, his involvement here in the second half has really been impressive. Under 13 minutes remaining, and the side that came into this encounter top of the group. Don't mind the 0-0 scoreline on what's been a tough evening in the north of Africa. Now it's moments like that where they at times have created their own problems. They are quick to win it back is Santos, and they're looking for Matthews, and again it's one of those fouls that denies Sundowns any chance at the counter-attack. Yellow card showed here. Initially, I thought it was Gemasa that went in with the challenge, but it's Ben Haoua that will pick up the yellow, and a good call by the referee late in was Ben Haoua from behind. And it's all about denying Sundowns any chance at finding fluidity going forward. We'll miss the next match. Taking one for the team. Tough evening it's been for the likes of Matthews, Santos and Silva in and around that final third. Trainers as well has really been tough. They've had to work at trying to frustrate the home team in trying to build from the back, but offensively they've really had to suffer for one another here in not getting their best moments going forward, and I mean to be okay with that in suffering together as a team. Sundowns hardly see them go through 78 minutes and well, not trouble the opposition defense, have the ball in areas that aren't really of menace on the middle of the park and nowhere near the final third, thanks to the pressure. Gemasa, Dabti, and the rest of the home team here. Again, frustration for the fans. They'll be looking up at the clock here and realizing the time is not on their side. So, don't want to start off the group stages with what will be a loss and a draw for them. And then there's always the threat of a smash and grab away from home. Nothing on target as yet from Sundowns. Nuttall having to pick his moments and pushing forward. Not as much drama for Jean Matara, the referee from Burkina Faso, in the second half as he had in the first, where he really was under pressure from the home support and the home side. Not so many incidents here in the second. Gemasa looks to go long. The movement is good on this near side. Lunga under pressure, but he's recovered well. Had to wait for his moment then and be careful not to foul. Buguera would have been waiting for the contact then to go down for the penalty. It's a great decision here by Divine Lunga, beaten by the flight to the ball, and has to adjust to the bounce and waited for the perfect time to get goal side at the expense of a corner. They haven't had too many of these this evening, and men over towards the far post as keeps Sundowns on the back foot. Race levels went up just a bit from the fans as they look to will the side into scoring that all-important goal, the opener for the evening. This place will go mad if they are to get it. Williams and company have been solid on the defensive end and dealing with set pieces, and well, here they are having problems here with a lovely bit of creativity on this near side. Pull in then from Kamasa again. Another corner. They are looking to pump up the fans. The likes of Buguera. Looking for that goal that could just turn around the group stage campaign. Near post, and once again, Sundowns are solid in that regard. They have really been impressive in dealing and winning the aerial duels defensively of Mamelodi Sundowns. Ayende. Everybody back defending for Sundowns, so Alger it will be to bring it back with Ayub. Now, numbers in the box here to cut ball in and all over. There's his heads kept alive on this near side, and they have struggled with that final delivery here in the second half. Matchday. Time now, a serious factor for the home side and the supporters. Salez, Madiba will be the men to come on and hope to maybe change the momentum of the game here inside the dying moments of this game. Divine Long has had to work his socks off here this evening. Same can be said for Mudau in the right back position. No surprise to see Longa making way. Lonely job up front for Ikram Rainers. Extremely lonely job in this evening. Solid work. Solid work from Mahmoudou. Lovely skill here on the near side. There's Alger again knocking on that door, and Sundowns had to stay solid. Then they were under pressure with a good few corners coming in with Ronald Williams showing quality. As Rainers is the man smoked in. Capre amongst those coming in off the bench here, and running out of time as they still continue to wait for the first goal where they score it in the group stages, including their first win. Only goal scored so far has been an own goal for Algiers. Sundowns have just over 5 minutes here to try and maintain their 100% record in the group stages. Good touch, good burst of pace. Gagana with the recovery. Again showing good pace, and well, just couldn't get it together in finding Madiba. And in the end, Sundowns have a corner to deal with the under 5 remaining. And now Alger will be hoping to spend the majority of the time that remains in this match in the offensive third, hoping for that late break winner, OJ.
Komotere metsotso e le some a e feta soma robedi monna yo wa Miguel Cardoso go dira jalo di phetogo jaaka bona ba dira di phetogo di le pedi. ba go dira jalo diphetogo di le pedi setlhopha se MC Alger Benkhemasa wa tswa re bone kgwele ba go etsa le sekhutlho romela fela ba sireletsa jalo kwa morago re mo metsotsong e tlana motho a ka re ke metsotso e masisi Shalio Bangura o tsene le ke bona jalo Msheshe Tempo Zwali gopola gore gore mo setlhopheng sa nakwana sa batshameki ba le 55 sa ga Hugo Bruce ase go tshameka ga gage go tla feletsa go dirile gore a bile dio kwa setlhopheng a re bona re ba tla dirang re bone Zenoni a ba romela but offside I say no. Honte fela jalo. Ona e beile mo le tloeng le ka bona la paya zet. Themba Zwane wa go tsena me go tswa jalo le ka bona la Regino Silva. Go tsena jalo Msheshe tla go pola gore mo kgobalong e fetileng o ne a tswa mo kgobalong ya re motshameko wa ntlha fela a boa kgobala Themba Zwane selo fela kampa ya Mamelodi Sundowns ba tshwere dipelo ka diatla gore seo se se ka sa boa sa diragala mo lekawaneng le Arthur Seles Ronald Williams o e tshamekela jalo mo tseleng ya ga Cupido 2 minutes to go metsotso le mebedi gore motshameko ya bokhutlong Ronwen o e wa mo tseleng ya ga Cupido Mashelo a ende sekanyana se borolo thata Maphosa Mashelo a ende a ne wa ka ba tshameka ka botlhale ona Mashelo ke gore le kare o kgona go e rwala le nosi Mamelodi Sundowns fa batla Sailor Man Msheshe Themba Zwane Mashelo ayende o bo ipotsa gore fa na tsena jana a le kwa Loftus Versfeld gore go tla bo go diragalang ka nako ye Arthur Seles a re bone Arthur romela kwa pele ba e buse kwa morago Tapti be a go tswela ka kwa ntle fetoga jalo gona tatlhelo kgwileo e fetoga jalo gona tatlhelo kgwileo tshamekela mo tseleng ya ga Mashelo re bala motsotso Sundowns ga ya tshwanna go bonya MC Alger ga ba tshwanna go bonya ba tshwanetse ditlhopha ka bobedi di a bula matlho ga jana a Sundowns ya go palama sefofane gore ga ko OR Tambo ka nno le ka ntlha e le nosi ba ba romela kgwele tla nako tse ba tswa mo dikoteng ka sireletsa tshameka jaaka sweeper jaanong tshameka jaaka sweepera jaanong bona yo wa Ronald Williams ya go tloswa a re bone jalo le ka Lamin a ba romela mo bokosola de tene tseraganya ba ka gore a tloswa le goal kick refilwe metsotso e le metlhano ya tlaleletso ha re bone gore go tla diragala mo metsotsong eo fela balatedi ba setlhopha sa the People's Club ga ba suti setse ba na le tsholofelo mme kgwele ya dinao yone e ntse jalo sengwe le sengwe metsotso e le metlhano e kgona go nna malatsi a le matlhano ke nako e ntsi thata mo kgweleng ya dinao metsotso e le metlhano sengwe le sengwe se ka diragala mo nakong eo Themba Zwane go molemo Ronald Williams a re diga mowa kete motho a batla ntlha le notse go boela gae Ronald Williams re bone go molemo Marcelo Allende ba batla ntlha Sundowns fa o lebeletse mokgwa wa bone wa tshameko ga jana re a re lebile re palama motsotso wa bobedi wa metsotso e le metlhano Marcelo Allende o e ba botselega e ga Themba romela letele go kwa pele ga e bona tsela gompieno mo nayo ga e bona tsela Ikram Rainers me go diragatswa jalo phetogo Sundowns Thapelo Maseko Keegan Johannes ba go tsena lebella gore Cupido wa tswa Rainers wa tswa fa o kgona go bona fa kgona go lemoga gore Miguel Cardoso o dirang fa kgona go bona gore o tsamaisa nako fa Cupido o tswile Johannes o tsene tshamekiwa mano ba setlhopha sa matsatsing tsa Pretoria e sa tlholeng e le gore ga jana Zinan o ne a rotswa ka kgwele ya fela a re bone Khalif Seila Themba Zwane o tsenya loto e tswela ka kwa ntle kgwele eo tsentse loto Themba Zwane kgwele eo ya go tloswa jalo ke Marwan Khalif re lebeletse tshupanako re ya go palama motsotso wa bofelo re palama motsotso wa bone re setse ka motsotso le nosi gore mogwang o tlo ye kwa borwa romela letelele go kwa pele rutuane sireletsa kwa morago a re bone Maphosa a romela Maphosa fela ya ba sia tswela ka kwa ntle go fetoga go nna tatlhelo Tapti ke na kgelang kgwele yao simolola jalo kwa morago romela letelele Maphosa thula ka tlhogo le ya go tswela ka kwa ntle fetoga go nna tatlhelo ya ga Tapti o e tlogela Pongwera Tapti motho a ka re nako e fedile Hekete dia palelana di go palelana ditlhopha tse ba tla bona mo ngwageng o tlang gape fa ba tsweletsa metshameko e fela kgwele dina ke gore le kare sengwe le sengwe se ka diragala a ba tswa dira jaaka supera gape Ronald Williams romela mo lebokosong a re bone Mrembola o tsenya loto kwa morago nako e fedile metsotso e le metlhano e fedile ke lebeletse jalo motsereganye monna wa ka kwa Burkina Faso go makgetlho a le mararo e re go nna ka tsela ntseng jalo ke tona nkutlwa mona wa uta a ba eletsa makgetlo a le mararo go ka jala bokhutlo jwa motshameko. Noto MC Alger, noto Mamelodi Sundowns go fela jalo ba tla boa ba kopana gape mo nakong e tla mo ngwageng otlhe mo mo tla bo go tsweletsa jalo ne metshameko e fa ba tla ba etela ka kwano gae mo Afrika Borwa. Go fedile re boa re kopana mo nakong e tla motho etso.